I will get a person to come in.
I know, not a bad issue. Thank you. Now, here, you want to take this one back? Seems to be.
I'm sure they'll have all sorts of fun. Okay, folks, we've got some real interesting stuff, but we'll go through the, is it just a space? Oh, good. Please read the note well. In IDR, the one I just was in, you can go through all of it, make declarations. We're going to go through the chair slides and a bashing, then the status on the models. Then is there someone here for DC fabric model? If not, good. I don't have your slides on this laptop, so we may put you at the end if that's okay, so I can switch. Okay, then we'll do the CU separation info model and the ephemeral state and come back to the data fabric. And again, I apologize for the places that we've missed. Okay, we're down to I2RS is having is in its last phases of closing out work that was in its original charter. And we hope to be completing that work and going into hiatus or closing the working group in March. So adoption that we do at this point must have some very strict requirements, because we've got to go quickly from any adoption to working group last call. So that will be true of the two drafts we're talking about today. One is the ephemeral data store and one is the informational draft. And both of those have a need. Now, this is a little picture about what your chair's life has been like. Both Russ and I have been a little swamped by our life outside. So thank you for helping us, authors. We're sorry we're not catching up with you. The good news, and Kent's here, with the adoption of NetConf and NetMod of the revised data store models and everything, I2RS can complete its task. We have to complete the ephemeral data store model and submit all models to the ISG, and then go into a hiatus. And we hope to do this by March. Our models are the two topology drafts, which we're handling editorial nits, the RIB data model, which their authors tell me they're doing the same thing. I've got a couple questions for them. I'd love to try to meet with them. Alex met with me over lunch. Mark has promised to meet with me along with Amit. So I think we're going to try to get that so we can send Aaliyah gifts of the week. It's almost holiday time. Yahoo! So that was our charter. The other pieces in the charter that I'd like to remind you is that we had L2 topology, FIB, RIB, and the data center fabric. We'll get a discussion of the data center fabric. Since I know they've implemented that, we'll probably move that quickly to working group last call, which is why, thanks, Jan, we'll go through that second. But we have to go through the ephemeral data store. So there are two models that we're going to discuss here. One is an ephemeral data store, and one is a CU separation with an info model that a couple service providers, one is implemented, two are working on. And I'm just going to say this one more time. Anything we adopt now must be ready to roll and discuss shortly so that we can start adoptions and working group last calls within a month. Okay, so that's the chair slides. Let's see, Donald, if I can do this. Now, I don't know if this is, pardon? Last item. I want to make sure I've got the right slide set, so take a look at it and then we'll start. Does this look right? Or did I have the older one? No, not the right one. Okay, that's what I worried. Yes? Okay, thank you. There we go. And I'll have to do the slide set for you. Just tell me when you want to. Well,
Hello. Yeah,
Oh, good,
it
good.
works.
Good.
Hello, everyone. Here comes the here comes the draft of the information model of the BNG device with control plane and user plane separation. This is the updated version as version 02. And my name is Gurong from China Mobile, and my co-authors, Victor, Michael, Shujin Hu.
And Victor is from Telefonica.
Yeah. And next slide, please. Oh, it's so slow.
I must have it done wrong.
The next slide is about the concept of the BNG device with control plane and user plane separation. As introduced in this morning in the routing work group, the BNG device is presented with a new architecture with its control plane and user plane separation. Here for short, in a traditional BNG device, there are several functional modules, such as the information management module and the routing and forwarding modules. Here, the BNG control plane focuses on the information management, such as the user information and resource information. Thus, the BNG control plane can be virtualized and centralized in actual deployment. While the BNG user plane acts as a role as traditional routing and forwarding. In this architecture, it provides significant benefits such as the session management centralization, the address allocation flexibility, and high scalability for subscriber management capacity, and many other significant benefits. The objective of this draft is to present information model to present the interaction interface between the control plane and the user plane. Because now in the new architecture of the BNG device, there are two parts. One is the control plane and another is the user plane. There are many interaction interface between them. So the aim of this draft is to present a standard information model. Under the standard information model, we think that the interworking of different devices can be improved, such as the control plane and the user plane belonging to different vendors. They can co-work with each other. Next slide, please.
Let me see. Hold
Oh,
on. Let me
we skip-
try one more time. Yes, I skipped many things.
Yeah, next slide is about the updates of our draft.
Yes. Is that the right down?
Yeah.
Good.
Since last IETF meeting, we have several updates. The first is that we specify the information model in routing backcast no form. That means our information model obeys the backcast no grammar. It makes us easier to understand the information model. And the second one is we add a new section to introduce the usage of the information model. And then we delete the appendix of the young model according to some comments, since we think our information model is protocol independent. What's more, we rewrite some tests to improve the draft readability. Last but not least, we have new authors to join us, and welcome Victor and Shujun Hu, representing the opinions of the operators. Next slide, please.
Okay, let's try and see. Okay, slowly, just patience.
Next slide is the overview of the information model. In our information model of the control plane and user plane separation BNG device, it is divided into two parts. One is the control plane information model, and another is the user plane information model. The control plane information model is used by the control plane device, while the user plane information model is used by the user plane. While in the control plane information model, it divides into three parts. One is the user-related information model, and another is the information-related interface-related information model, and the third is about the device-related information model. The user-related information model is specific to some users' information, such as the user's ID, the user's IP address, and the user's quality of service rules. While the interface-related information model contains a lot of attributes related with the service interface, while the device-related information model contains a lot of attributes related with the device, such as the address segment distributing to the user plane by the control plane. While in the user plane information model, there are two parts. One is the port resources information model, and another is the traffic statistics. In the port resource information model, it contains the information of the ports, such as the available network resources. While in the traffic statistics, it has many parameters in order to report the traffic information. These statistics can be reported to the control plane by the user plane. This is the general overview of this model. Next slide, please. Next slide is about our future steps. The first is we want everyone to give us more comments. And up to now, we have updated this draft for many times. So we think the information model may be mature and maybe this draft is ready for the work group adoption. So let us leave the question to our chairs. What do you recommend about this draft? And the last slide. The last slide is many thanks. Yeah, many thanks.
Very slowly.
Very slowly, many thanks, folks. So we're going to take this one to the list, and I need to chat a little bit with the AD. It does fulfill the thing that if you're actually worked on deployments, we have a situation we can discuss. So please watch your list after I talk to our AD.
Okay.
Thank you.
Question? Comment?
So you're saying about the user plane and the control plane, but where do you put the QoS? Because QoS is one of the major issues in the BNP.
Yeah, we can see. I have the appendix slide. The next slide, please. This is slide we present last IETF. It's the usage example of this information model. Here we can see a user Bob access into the internet, and the QoS see in the blue character. The CP, the control plane, sent the tables to the UP, and the tables includes the QoS rules. Here we set the broadband bandwidth, such as the 6 or 8. That is the QoS. Okay, when a subscriber subscribes into the internet, they will have their bandwidth requirements, such as Bob access the internet, he buys the bandwidth. The bandwidth we give them, that is the QoS.
Part of the QoS is running in the user plane, part of it is running in the control plane. I'm asking you, where do you define it?
Yeah, when Bob access, he sends the information in the control plane. The control plane gets the user's information, and he sends the user's information into the user plane due to the through the information model.
So you're saying when the subscriber gets connected, you're looking up the profile gets passed from a management to the control plane, the control plane finds
Yeah.
out the QoS and then passes it down to the user plane.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, this really doesn't work very well, does it? All right, let's try again. So the main question I have is if there's interest in the document, and this is, the question I have is whether this would get the same level or more review if, as a result of closing or putting on hiatus while we get the documents through the RCN or I2RS, if it were an RTWG. I know that you talked there as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Rather back to you, but the topic was there as well. This is off, that's the problem. No, this is work, yeah. It's amazing how a power switch is very helpful. Anyway, so the question is basically, for those who are interested in the work, would you also come to RTGWG to review the work and comment there? Or do you feel like it needs to have the smaller and rapid speed that it would require if it were an I2RS? I mean, that's really the question.
That is the real question.
And at this point, I'm very reluctant to take things that aren't explicitly required for I2RS into the working group. Even though this looks like really interesting work, and I know you have deployment experience, it shouldn't happen. And it's just the management of which working group it should happen in. So I think I'll talk with Sue, but probably we should have a discussion with you and Jeff Tansera and Chris Bowers as well to see if we can migrate the work over there.
Several people send me the emails, but privately, not in the work group mail list. So I think this draft draws some attention, but they didn't show their attention in the work group mail list.
Right, and I want to be clear, I'm not concerned. Sorry, it is clear that you have done work. There's deployment pieces. And I appreciate that you've gotten private feedback on it. I would encourage people to do more public feedback on the mailing list as well, because that helps provide a record of interest and the discussion improvement. My hesitation is I don't see this being done in the next month or two. And that's the time frame that we're talking about. I think it's potentially quite interesting work, but I think that RTGWG will have more time to discuss it. And given that there was other work related to this coming into RTGWG and being discussed there, that there'll be a broader context.
Okay, thank you for suggestion.
And we should probably talk with Jeff Tensor
Okay.
and Leah and I, so we can provide a good bridge on that, because I think
Okay.
it has shown significant interest here and people who are willing to comment. So let's see if we can try to move it in that direction with some guidance from me to Jeff.
Okay, thank you
Good.
all.
Thank you, and thank you for this interesting work. I mean,
Yep.
this is really fascinating work. I wish we could go forward with it here.
Okay, it's appreciated.
I have the data model. Just a minute. Let's see if I can. I'm going to do the ephemeral model and come back. Jan, I do have the presentation. We'll do this in slightly different order. Yeah, I just didn't put it on the memory stick. Okay. Okay. This is the last piece of required work that we haven't really picked up or looked at, and that's the ephemeral data store. The ephemeral data store is fairly easy at this point because oh look, if I just did the space, it would have worked. Ephemeral data store is easier because 90% of the work has already been done in ops. The net mod revised data store has been done in ops. The revised data store, netconf and restconf additions, and we just have to have that last 5% to define a standard. There are only 3 things to discuss regarding this model. One, whether we need an ephemeral flag. We did this so that you could have a flag in the data model. That's in all the requirements. Could this be done in a combination of dynamic plus configuration? Let's look at this. If you have the dynamic data store, which I2RS data stores are, and the intended, do we need to have something where we have the ephemeral flag? That's question 1. I can take these one. Kent, go ahead.
Kent Watson, Juniper Networks. The ephemeral flag would be to say that the module is only to be in the
It
dynamic.
could be a portion of the module. By definition, it's
Okay.
only a portion to be.
If it was a portion of the module, then you might need a flag.
Yep, that's why we left it in this particular model. But it would be judged, okay? That's question 1. And here's the text in the model that would give you the identity to do that. The second is non-sensitive data. Certain models may be sent over restconf, over HTTP and TCP. There is a data store flag that says this, and that's again part of our requirements. I recommend, just a minute, I recommend that it's always been recommended that there's a user flag that turns off or turns off the capability to do this. The flag in the data store that does this is just a value that says this data is not sensitive. Again, for a portion of the model or for the model, most likely a portion. Hi, this web server is up. And the last thing that's in the current model, it's very short. It looks like the revised data store example is a list of models, just simply in a comment. Hi, these are the ones. But it is anticipated you would then put comments. What's left out? Any flags on validation or validation by implementation. I believe my estimate when I went through all the requirements in the I2RS requirements, that the revised data store provided enough information on specifying validation within the own. So that's all it is. It's fairly short. Alex helped me figure out where I was going with it. He and I are co-authors, and I think we've got the thoughts and comments from people. We'd like to then go to a working group adoption fairly quickly because it's our last thing to do. Any questions, more comments?
Count again. The non-sensitive data, would that be on protocol accessible nodes or notifications or RPCs?
It is currently in the requirements that we have. It is allowed to be in notifications or read-only nodes, but not write.
Mm-hmm. And also something else that may have been left out is prioritization, client priority.
Priority is part of the read combination into the I2RS, into the data model, and that is actually something that needs to be part of the implementation.
Okay.
So that's part of the architecture in the data store. Now, if you need that in the data store model to specify it, that would be good feedback, so we put it in the data store model.
And this is Alex. Also, one concern actually regarding the second item is what I'm wondering is basically, is this actually unique to ephemeral data store? The sensitive information. Therefore, basically, from this perspective, I'm not exactly sure actually if this is the right match to put this here. I think everything else is good, but I think on this one, I have some, just some concerns in my mind as well.
Data.
Sorry?
But non-sensitive data.
Yes.
What was that?
Because we're mixing basically the transport, how it is accessed with the fact that it's ephemeral. So I'm not exactly sure if they are the same concern, they're separate concerns.
Yeah, and I wasn't sure either because when I read the draft this morning, it said about the notification streams. And my comment was going to be that I think you would have to have a stream that was dedicated to non-sensitive data.
Yes, you do. You have to have a stream that's dedicated to non-sensitive. So should that be more clearly specified?
You might even define the stream in this draft.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so non-sensitive, define the stream. I'll come back to the first question. That the structure makes ephemeral fairly easy, right? For a model base. It even makes it easy if you're overlaying BGP peer as ephemeral. Because if you have your BGP peer added as ephemeral, when you add the BGP to the operational piece, you're just overloading the dynamic data store into the intended. Again, I'm tempted to leave it in until we have a few examples, just because I think it might be working within it. It's just we'll have to pay attention when we do the first BGP peer edition. And that's coming after the IDR seems to be strongly in favor of the revised data store for BGP. There'll be an I2RS BGP picture, because that was one of them. The other one is the RIB case, which was our original case, and that fits within a data store. So I think it's the BGP ephemeral case where we'll test this out. I anticipate that particular draft to resurface now that we've gotten the BGP stuff. Any other thoughts from people in the room on the ephemeral data store? Eric or okay. Take a look at it. I think Alex and I will maybe make another pass on the comment on notification stream. Aaliyah, did we restrict the non-secure stuff to notification? We made it to notification and read only. So we need to put both notification and read only. This is an incredibly short draft. So just take a peek at it. Okay. Give me one moment while I, is there any other questions, any other concerns about this revised, this ephemeral data store? I mean, this basically is fairly easy, again, because of the excellent work done in NetMount and RESTCOM. Okay, it is Alex and my desire that we put this to working group last call. We'll make a couple revision, and then the working group last call will be fairly quickly. Okay, give me one moment while I, Donald, do I need to do something to eject this or just pull? Oh, drag it. Right.
Need to get the icon on desktop.
Okay.
It's easier to
Yeah, I'll let you do
find
it.
your window.
I'm sorry.
Okay. So just go click.
Oh,
Okay, now
okay,
you-
now I'm gonna pull this and put another one on.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Just knew I had it. Okay, is there a... Donald, I'm afraid I lost the window.
On desktop there, you can double click on it. You switch to the screen.
I switched to the screen.
Select the,
I'm sorry.
I think that's an annoying feature anyway. I think I just do that. Look at that.
I should be able to get
Yes.
the...
Open.
Okay.
Uh,
Yeah, this one. Okay. Thank you. Jan, would you like to present now? Hopefully I can help. I will have to
Thank you.
try to help you.
Okay. Thank you. This is something about our fabric-based management for data center network. And this slide is being presented several times in this group. So can you go on? Yeah, this is some recap. And the concept of this design is for data center network. We want to simplify our data center network management. So we divided the layers into three. The lowest one is the physical layer, and the middle one is the fabric layer, which is for network orchestrator and a network layer. And the upper layer is for users. As you can see, there are many users slice over that in their layers. So this is the general concept. Next. And this is what we provided in our drafts and in our modules. Actually, we have done some work in I2RS, which provided the fabric-based topology management. As this layer, we just abstracted the physical layer into the network provider and provided how the physical layer network looks like, and the network provider can look at the whole network as composed of several network fabrics. So at the higher layer, which is the service layer, we provided a service interface for the users to define their networks. So next. So the previous slides just give you a recap of this, what kind of work we are doing in I2RS. And this is the progress since the last IETF meeting. And thanks for everyone's work. We get consensus on the fabric topology layer, which is the second layer, which provided for the network provider to manage their networks. So this is adopted by the working group and all the modules, and we remove some modules, duplicate definitions between these kind of two modules. And also we provide an MDA structure and to pass to resolve some errors in the YANG validation. And currently the two modules don't have any errors. And there's some warnings, and I'm trying to fix in the next version. Yeah, that's the progress and updates. And the next, the next is we welcome further feedbacks and to help improve these modules. And we will prepare the next version with no errors and no warnings.
Do you think do you think at that time you'll be ready for working group last call?
Yeah, I think the fabric topology model is quite solid.
So maybe we could start working group last call in a week or so. Would that work? Or 2 weeks?
Yeah. Do you ask me to correct all the warnings before
Yes.
that? Okay.
So 2 weeks, and then we'll start working group last call.
Yeah, I will try to conform with Benoit about this.
Okay.
Thank you.
That would be good.
Yeah.
Any questions on this model? Okay, any questions on anything in any of the I2RS models? This will be our last cycle here. Alex and I will be on the list working on the data store. Kent, thank you very much again. And folks, we'll give you back some of your day. Thank you again. See that we are in the same room. Tuesday, I can have a So if I maybe yeah. Now, we're all set up for Trill. I've had slides on this thing for Trill, or if you've got slides already. So this thing has the Trill and PDF, so it's up to you. This morning. Then you can run the. Yeah, which was very good. That's all we had to do to press. So can you try we get them here, this thing gets done at, I have to leave the digest. Probably enough for this dissertation work's doing.